Minglava and welcome to Myanmar Radio's Myanmar Today. I am Michelle with the recent news and reports from around Myanmar. Bomo got the latest reports on overall positive case rate accounts for 0.32% in the country. Thora Susan will give us all the details on Pyidaungsu Hluttaw agreed to get loan for Yangon City Water Resilience Project. Wilson has the details on Pyidaungsu Hluttaw discusses on taking loans from ADB. David Tanner will have the full story on current circumstances of confectionery in snacks market. All of these reports will be coming up on Myanmar Today, but for now, let's take a look at what's happening in local news. Government and nationwide ceasefire agreement signatories at the organization NCA at EAOS have commented on the 6th editions of the 3-day negotiation meeting at the National Reconciliation and Peace Center NRPC on Shirley Road in Yangon on Saturday. The NCA at EAOS the representatives include the NCA Implementation Framework Coordination Group leader, the NCA Implementation Coordinator, and members. The Vice Chairman, Union Attorney General U Tuntun delivered an opening remark, saying the peace negotiators from both sides have kept on discussion through the video conferencing despite some restrictions amid COVID-19. The meeting could make some agreements, including for organizing the fourth sections of Union Peace Conference 21st Century Panlong in the second week of August. The decision from this 3-day meeting will be reported to the JICM for approval, and agreements will become Part 3 of Union Accord at the 21st Century Panlong, paving the way of federal-based union. The NCA Implementation Framework Coordination Group leader said the ongoing meeting will try to finalize the remaining issues for discussion. He also said the stakeholders need to work for turning out fruitful results from the fourth UPC. Discussion from the first day meeting will be concluded on 27 July. The Myanmar Radio and Television MRTV organized a monsoon tree planting event in Naypyidaw, Yangon on Saturday morning. Union Minister for Information Dr. P. Min and wife attended and planted star flower tree, and Deputy Minister U Aung Latun, Pyidaungsu Hluttaw MP of Yangon Township U Jodin, Permanent Secretary U Myo Myanmar, and officials planted seedling in the park and playground. The Union Minister and party follow and encourage the tree planting of the state from MRTV in the park, playground, and both sides of the road. The Beast Motorcycle Club, led by singer Zawin Tut, also joined the event and planted the seed and seedling around the playground. In the event, 1,230 seedlings out of collected 4,075 were planted, and the rest will continue to be grown during the rainy season. Union Minister for Natural Resources and Environmental Conservation, U O Win, inspected the forest plantation in Magui region on Saturday. The Union Minister first inspected the 45 acres of China-Myanmar friendship forest plantation that was grown during the rainy season of 2017 in the plot number 216 of Ngaming Forest Reserve near the milepost 28/1 on Naypyidaw, Gambia Road in Pyidaungsu Township, Magui region. Upon inspecting the plantation, he stressed the importance of fully growing the trees and systematically nurturing the plants. He urged the officials to systematically use the agricultural equipment in nurturing trees in accordance with the instructions that are included in the nurturing plantation subject. He also inspected the dry zone grading department at 500 tree plantation near milepost 38/2 and another 20 acres of tree that were grown in 2018 near milepost 38/0 on Naypyidaw, Gambia Road in Myotit Township. In the afternoon, he visited 55 acres of plantation in plot number 218 of Ngaming Forest Reserve near the milepost 26/6 on Naypyidaw, Gambia Road. After listening to the reports on the trees contaminations at the plantation, he also gave necessary instructions to the officials concerned. Chancery Hall's COVID-19 Control Working Committee handed over a total of 29 Myanmar nationals who returned from foreign countries to the officials in Lashio in the past 2 days. 21 of them were transported to Lashio on 24th July and 8 on 25th July. 9 of them are males and 20 are females. The Change.org COVID-19 committee handed over a total of 13,695 returnees to the township concerned since 30 April. That's all with the local news. Now we'll move on to our first report. According to a quick and dirty analysis of the daily situations of COVID-19 in Myanmar, the overall positive cases rate accounted for 0.32% across the country. The number of the COVID-19 cases around the world reached 15,628,000 people were killed by those infections. The Ministry of Health and Sport Myanmar announces the daily notice and announcements of infected cases from the returnees daily. Let's have a report for more.
According to a quick and dirty analysis of the daily situation of COVID-19 in Myanmar, the overall positive cases rate accounted for 0.32% across the country. The number of the COVID-19 cases around the world reached 15,628,000 people were killed by those infections. To prevent those infections, the Ministry of Health and Sports Myanmar announces the daily notices and announcement of infected cases from the returnees daily. People need to follow the guidelines that the Ministry of Health and Sports announced, wearing masks whenever going out and avoiding the crowded places, and wash their hands properly for 20 seconds. About the prevention, Dr. Pyidaungsu, Director of Health Knowledge Promotion Division from the Ministry of Health and Sports, spoke to MI Radio. He said,
We have 3,118 quarantine centers across the country. We have tested 35,480 people who were under the quarantine. Among those people, 171 people tested positive. According to the data from the 22nd of July, 3.1% were tested positive from suspected persons. 0.8% were tested from the people who are at the quarantine centers. This is a good situation, and we have a lot of people who are on their way back to their recovery and are discharged from the hospital. All the 4 laboratories carry out between 1,000 and 2,000 lab tests daily. We're still going to open other laboratories in Daungji and Lashio to test more.
To prevent the COVID-19 in Myanmar, other international organizations like WHO supports equipment and other medical supplies too. Dr. Pyidaungsu said about that.
WHO supports us in medical supplies and other equipment and technical assistance to prevent the COVID-19. The World Bank also provides 7 million grants and 150 million in loan for COVID-19. And other countries also supply a lot of equipment and medical supplies to us. By comparing to the other countries, we can say we are in a good condition, but people have to care about the other infections in the other countries. We can say when the outbreak can happen suddenly, preparing ourselves will be the best in this period. We are glad that a lot of community organizations and government departments participated in the prevention processes.
All laboratories, including Yangon National Health Laboratory, Department of the Medical Research Center, Public Health Laboratory in Mandalay, and Public Health Laboratory in Molamyai, tested 1,176 persons suspected of being infected with the virus in the latest round of testing. The Ministry of Health and Sports has tested a total of 110,526 persons on 26 July. Among all the cases, 188 cases, which is 54%, are the imported cases, and the local cases are 161, which is 46% of the cases, according to the data from the Ministry of Health and Sports. Pyidaungsu, Region Hluttaw representative from Hlai Township, spoke to MI Radio. He said,
In the current situation, schools are reopened back under the guidelines of the Ministry of Health and Sports and the Ministry of Education. In our township, we still educate people about the awareness of COVID-19. With the help of State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi, Myanmar can control the infection cases more than other neighboring ASEAN countries. But we will have to prevent the second wave or the third wave because we can't even know when COVID-19 infections will finish. We still have quarantine centers in our township, and some returnees are being kept in quarantine at the centers.
Currently, a total of 290 patients are on the road to recovery. According to the Ministry of Health and Sports, the number of the COVID-19 cases has reached 350 at 8 p.m. on 26 July.
That's the report on overall positive cases rate account for 0.32% in country. Pyidaungsu Hluttaw approved the proposal to get $180 million loan from Asia Development Bank (ADB) for Yangon City Water Resilient Project, with the aim of fulfilling the water requirements of Yangon's population and to reduce the wastewater. The project is to install the pipelines to transport water instead of open channels.
In a day, 205 million gallons of water are being supplied to 33 townships, home to over 5 million population in the municipal area of Yangon City Development Committee. The population of Yangon, according to 2014 census, was 5.16 million, and this number is increasing year after year, which leads to higher demand in water supply. Moreover, because of more businesses coming into Yangon, the demand in water supply increases 2.09% annually. The main water distributors of Yangon are Jopyu Reservoir, Puji Reservoir, Hluttaw Reservoir, Ngamoye Reservoir, and 495 tube wells of YCTC. 90% of water distribution is from surface water and 10% is injected from underground. Starting from 2025, it will start injection of underground water. To fulfill the water requirement of Yangon, the project of Yangon City Water Resilience is being implemented, and it is proposed to get loan of $180 million from Asia Development Bank (ADB). Concerning this issue, Pyidaungsu Hluttaw approved it on its fifth day of 17th regular session after the clarification of the Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry. Uma Mawin, Deputy Minister for Planning, Finance and Industry, gave further explanation on the suggestions of Hluttaw representatives.
Resettlement plan
The resettlement plan of the project is already developed in line with the environmental regulations of Myanmar, as well as safety regulations of ADB, in order to reduce and replace the impacts on society and environment. The project will be done in state-owned land. After the project is done, 180 million gallons of water from Ngamoye Reservoir will be used in a day. Its capacity of storage is 49,000 million gallons of water. For the feeds of water consumption, we are applying water meter system. It costs 88 kyats per unit for households and 110 kyats per unit for commercial. If Yangon City can raise water fee to 220 kyats per unit for households and 330 kyats per unit for commercial, the income will increase to 40 billion kyats. The loan can be paid back with the increasing income.
Under water supply progress, there are three parts: water resources, water transmission, and finally distribution. This project is for the initial progress of water resources, which transfer original water from reservoir to the water treatment plant. It is to upgrade the currently used open channels to pipelines when transporting water. At present, the project is bringing 135 million gallons of water from the Ngamoye Reservoir to the Nyaunapeng water treatment plant, thereby distributing 90 million gallons of purified water to Yangon residents and 45 million gallons of original water to Hluttaw Reservoir in a day through pipelines. The project is to be implemented during 5 years from December 2020 to December of 2025. Agreements have been made with the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Irrigation for water supply, with the Ministry of Construction for installation of water pipelines, and with the Ministry of Electricity and Energy for electrification in the project area. News reported by Dora Susan from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on Pyidaungsu Hluttaw agreed to get loan for Yangon City Water Resilient Project. as the government is aiming to reach 75% electrification of the nation by 2025 and 100% by 2030. This national electrification project has been progressive. However, to speed up the progress, the Ministry of Electricity and Energy is planning to take loan from ADB, mostly for electrification of rural areas. Here is Wilson for the full report.
At present, Myanmar has about 2.3 million residential electricity connections. Depending on the assumptions on the household size, this implies that less than 30% of the population has access to electricity. Schools, clinics, and businesses in rural areas also have limited access to electric power. Therefore, on 24th of July, several Pyidaungsu Hluttaw representatives had discussions on taking loan from ADB, Asia Development Bank, total amount of US dollar 171.27 million for electrification of rural areas in Myanmar. The Ministry of Electricity and Energy is aiming to electrify 75% of Myanmar by 2025 and to achieve 100% electrification in the nation in 2030. Discussing at Pyidaungsu Hluttaw, Member of Parliament U Tim Mawin, representative of Saigon Township constituency, said,
နာဂိုင်းခင်ဗျာနိုင်ငံတနိုင်ငံဖွံ့ဖြိုးဖို့အဓိကလိုအပ်ချက်ဟာလျှက်စစ်တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်လျှက်စစ်တာကိုဘယ်လောက်သုံး
The development of a nation is largely associated with electrification of a nation. It is important to see the importance of electricity use per capita in a nation. There are several development indicators for a nation, such as the healthcare service per capita, the use of paper per capita, the use of smartphone per person, per capita income, and life expectancy of a person. So among all these indicators, I feel that the consumption of electricity is the most important development indicator for a nation. This is why the use of electricity by everyone in the nation is a crucial matter, that unless we provide electricity to every corner of the nation, there is no development. Our nation is left behind other ASEAN nations when it comes to electricity supply and its consumption by per capita. But another important thing here is we are going to use DAS, Distribution Automation System, in 4 EPE project regions to improve operational efficiency and management of distribution system. As an engineer, DAS is an important part of the development of electrification.
While long-term electricity access will chiefly be provided through the main grid, the short and mid-term will require substantial mini-grid and off-grid investment to ensure basic electricity services reaching a large number of users in relatively little time. The NEP therefore takes a two-fold approach: one, a grid extension program, and an off-grid program. The off-grid program is composed of solar home systems and mini-grids, with the target of population being those who will have to wait especially long for the main grid to reach their homes, or the regions where grid expansion retails prohibitive cost. Discussing at Pyidaungsu Hluttaw, Member of Parliament Don Nan Tan Tan Luin, Hluttaw representative of Pa'an constituency, also said,
When it comes to taking loan from ADB for the implementation of rural areas electrification, we are given the information that the project with this loan will be able to electrify rural areas in Yangon state. The eastern part of the Bago region, Magwe region, and Ayeyarwady region will receive the benefits from this project. This project will cover 400,000 and 300 households in 2,815 villages. According to the terms and conditions of this loan, we will have 8 years of grace period, and after there will be 24 years of loan covering, and the loan period will be effective in 32 years. But the interest rate is 1% in the grace period, 1.5% after the interest exemption is over. The grant element of the loan is 48%. So we can say that this is the right time we need to take loan, which is conceptual loan. Therefore, I'm here on behalf of locals In my constituency, I welcome this proposal to take loan from ADB for the electrification of rural areas.
According to the report, this project will take 7 years, and the Ministry of Electricity and Energy will also run the pilot project of distribution automation system, which is a system of technologies including sensors, processors, communication networks, and switches through which utility can collect, automate, analyze, and optimize to improve the operational efficiency of its distribution system. This is Williamson for MI Radio.
That's a report on Pyidaungsu Hluttaw discusses on taking loan from ADB. Even though the snacks confectionery market and businesses are not the most hammered sector by the impact of COVID-19, there are still vivid changes in how the things process at the current situation. Our reporter David Tanner explored the consequences of these factors around the market of confectionery and snacks in his report.
As the food and beverage sector continues to combat new daily challenges during the global COVID-19 pandemic, local retailers and snack wholesalers have also been facing its difficulties in their own ways. Even though the snacks market and businesses are not the most hammered sector by the impact of COVID-19, let's hear out what Mat Teng Teng Yi, sales in charge of U Mien Teng Snacks and Confectionery Wholesales, has to say.
At the present time, we are in normal pace in terms of sales. We have sold more around the COVID-19 period, and it went even better around the month of April and May. The sale does not go down in a tremendous rate at the current time. Businesses was great around last year's school opening season, and I'm still hoping this scenario to apply again this year when the schools completely reopen around August.
Mat Teng Teng Yi added on that even around the COVID-19 circumstances, there were no changes in the prices of the snacks. The sales drastically slowed down if the prices increase. Potato chips, sunflower seeds, milk bread, biscuits, and cookies are the staple around snacks business around the COVID-19 period. Mat Teng Teng Yi also told MI Radio about where the snacks have been imported from.
We import most of the snacks from Yangon in amount that we are comfortable to sell. But some of the products also came from Mandalay. They sent us by trains and buses. We are estimating that the business will even thrive further after COVID-19 is fully controlled and the school completely reopens. We are hoping for the best case scenarios after all these unfortunate events are fully worked out.
I have also asked one of the raw ingredients buyer for his perspective regarding the consumption and its changes at the current period of snacks and other products. Let's find out.
The sale has been gradually slowing down in this time of COVID-19. And in perspective, every kind of business has impact in the same way. Frankly, everyone is struggling in this situation. Fortunately, raw ingredients have not been increased in price, but on the other hand, it is because of the slow and low in demand, which is unfortunate. The prices are stable normal overall. I really wish this unfortunate event will end sometime soon, and if it is going to be, the business will thrive again.
The snacks and confectionery industry, as it is not immune to the pressures brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, consumer snacks buying behavior is reflecting heightened price sensitivity on one hand, and on the other hand, desiring moments of comfort and escapism. This is something convenience store retailers and confectionery snacks wholesalers need to understand to respond to it, be it by offering experimental flavors that encourage affordable moments of indulgence or offering traditional flavors and snacks that remind people of similar times, which also have to be affordable, of course. Do Mimi Luen, owner of Dai Say Snacks and Confectionery Wholesales, tell us more about the current situations of the snacks and confectionery wholesales market.
我这都没去吧，都部分我可能得咋样啊？那么我得咋子了？部分里头我养你了。
We are in the recovery state right now in terms of sales and market. We have been selling in a regular rate which has not been increased or decreased. Rural areas order us through phone contacts and transfer the money through banking processes and online payments. I think that the market will increase in rapid rate after the schools reopen. The prices of the snacks even go down a while ago as the impact of COVID-19 has been affecting. The companies of Suntime branded snacks pump up the percentage that they give in a small amount, which is great for us and the overall buyers.
Reporter David Chana reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on current circumstances of confectionery and snacks market. And that's all we have for today's report, and it's time to check on some international news here on Myanmar Today. China's Zhanjiang River saw its third flood of the year on its upper reaches on Sunday afternoon, caused by rising water level in its trunk streams and leading to increase in flow into the Three Gorges Reservoir. Torrential rain since Saturday evening has caused havoc across the Chechen country. The country has been overwhelmed after steady rainfall reached almost 180 millimeters. Local authorities on Sunday morning raised the flood emergency response from the second highest to the top alert, warning that water levels in the highest hit areas could be over 560 millimeters. Flood have caused 2 deaths and left 3 people missing in Chechen as of Sunday. Residents living along the river have been urged to evacuate and stay away from the riverbank. The Chinese embassy in Belgium on Saturday refuted U.S. accusations that China uses hackers, overseas personnel, and agencies to steal intellectual property and confidential business information around the world, including Belgium, stating the allegations are purely fabricated. According to the embassy, China is also a victim of cyber attacks, claiming that the PRISM program conducted by the United States National Security Agency and a series of other events in the past have shown that, quote, the United States has been conducting cyber theft on a scale larger than any other country, end quote. Regarding the relationship between the China and Belgium, the embassy emphasized that China has never posed a threat to the Belgian since establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries nearly 50 years ago. And the two countries will continue to cooperate in various fields based on mutual respect, equality, and benefit. Vietnam is bracing for a 50-day social distancing campaign from Monday, while non-essential business activities have been fully suspended in the central city of Da Nang starting 1 p.m. Sunday. The city's containment measures will remain effective until further notice, the government said in a statement on its website. The move comes after a second locally transmitted case of COVID-19 was confirmed in the country in nearly 100 days. The government on Saturday confirmed its first community infection since April and another case early on Sunday, both in Da Nang, a tourist hotspot. Vietnam, which won praise for a swift and complete lockdown for containing the disease, had so far confirmed 418 cases, including 365 recoveries with no deaths, according to the statistic released by the Johns Hopkins University. That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm your intern, Anchor Michelle. Have a good day. Until next time.